Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Penny Saver, and welcome to Zombies Map Tier List. So yeah, that's about it. It's all the Treyarch zombie maps, because I haven't played hardly anything that isn't Treyarch. So let's just get right into it. So we have Nocturne Toten. Well, we have World at War 2 Vanguard. You can see that this isn't complete. I mean, I couldn't find an updated one. So if you guys find an updated one, send it to me and I'll redo it and then put it as a post, maybe. Who knows? But first, we'll do Nocturne Toten World at War. And I'm going to have to say, so we're going to have D as the lowest possible, of course. Of course. I know there's like F, or maybe, I don't know. Nocturne Toten World at War is a classic, but gameplay-wise, it is very difficult, and it was the first. So I think most of the World at War map, I think I'm going to put it, it's definitely not A, but it's not, so B. Higher tier B, because it was the first map, and it is a certified classic, but the mechanics for it just aren't that, the zombies are very hard to deal with, and that kind of goes for all the World at War maps, but Nocturne Toten and Verrucht, I'm going to have to say Verrucht and Nocturne Toten go in B tier, because Verrucht is the same thing. Of course, we got the perks, though, so I think that puts that above Nocturne Toten. At least for now. You know, there might be other things that come up that are garbage. Shino Numa World at War, I'm actually going to put at an A tier, just because, I mean, maybe it goes above Verrucht. It did introduce us to the Wunderwaffe, and that does infinite damage. You know what, I think I'm going to have to move it to A tier just because of the Wunderwaffe. The map's okay, the zombies are still very difficult to deal with. But, the map is bigger, first of all. It is way bigger than Verrucht. And that just beats it, both of those by a landslide. The Wunderwaffe, and only like 26 zombies, I think, can spawn at a time. Maybe it's 24. So you can end a round with like 2 Wunderwaffe shots, or something crazy like that. So that goes in A tier. We have Darius from World at War, introduced Pack-a-Punch, so that obviously goes above Shino Numa. Not at S tier, because it only introduced Pack-a-Punch. That, I mean, that is literally game-changing, don't get me wrong. But S tier has to be like, because the zombies in World at War are still like a pain in the ass to deal with. But they did add the Pack-a-Punch, so I'm going to say upper A tier, but not quite S tier. And now, moving on to the Black Ops 1 category, we are starting it off with Kino der Toten. So, Kino der Toten Black Ops 1 is, of course, a certified classic. Gameplay-wise, it's great. You know, no more World at War zombies, thank God it didn't release on World at War. But Kino der Toten has, like, nothing going for it. It has the teleporters, Darius had that. It's a very cut and dry map. There's really nothing to it. I'm going to have to say upper A tier. Yeah, I know. Penny, when are you going to put something in S tier? Kino der Toten is good. Well, if you play Kino der Toten for more than 2 hours, you're going to be bored to death. I mean, you could say the same for all of them, but at least everything else has stuff to do. Like, example, 5. What do you got? The Pentagon Thief. He keeps you on your toes. That's pretty damn creative. I like 5. I might be the only guy who likes 5, or person. Who likes 5, but the only redeeming factor for 5 is the challenge, really, and you can link the, or not link, it's the DEFCONs to get Pack-a-Punch in the war room. I'm going to have to say 5 is going to go, I think it's going to go above Verrucht, but it's definitely not higher B tier, but it's not enough to go in A tier, you know. 5, if you want a challenge, play 5 solo. If you want to chill, you should probably play these maps here. Dead Ops Arcade 1, certified banger, so much fun. I am, without a doubt, going to say Dead Ops Arcade 1 is immediate S tier. It's great, you know, it's got everything you need to it. It's just a fun little mini game, you know, not something you can grind. I mean, I guess you could, but you're not really, you know, you don't play Dead Ops to grind. Ascension, Black Ops 1, you know, it's good. I have a lot of memories with it. I think it's pretty goddamn fun. It was the first map to actually have an Easter egg in it, or like an Easter egg with a reward at the end of it. So that's, you know, that's something. Not even Black Ops Kino der Toten had that. You know, not even 5 had that. So I'm gonna have to say Ascension is S tier. I'll say it right now. You got the Lunars. You know, there's big areas for training. You know, if you have 4 people, you get your own piece of the map. It has the Thunder Gun. I mean, I guess the only factor would be the monkeys. Really, the monkeys really take away. If the monkeys were replaced with dogs, then you know what? I think the monkeys are the one thing that would probably bring it down. I really do. But do I think it's better than Kino? Yes. I think Ascension goes in A tier, but just because of the monkeys. If it didn't have monkeys, or at least if the monkeys didn't take away perks, it would probably be a banger map. I'm not gonna lie. But if you kill the monkeys without taking a hit or losing perks, you get a free perk. And it could be Jug without even buying it. I'm gonna have to put at A tier, high A tier, right next to S. The monkeys really take away from it, and I think a lot of people can actually agree with that. Next up, we have Call of the Dead, me and Mr.Wafake's favorite. I mean, Jesus, we've played it like a million times. Call of the Dead's a pretty good map. Had George Romero. It was the first map with a star cast. You know, I think it's pretty good, but I don't think it's better than Ascension. Honestly, you know, George is great. You get the Wonder Waff when you do the Easter egg, and from then on, you kill George for a free perk and a free Wonder Waff or Death Machine if you didn't do the Easter egg. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, I don't know. I'm gonna have to say Ascension's better than Call of the Dead, but it's not B tier. It's not B tier. To make it S tier, I'm not gonna lie. When I play it, I don't like it as much because of the snow and the fog. I like being able to see my whole map. And George isn't as annoying. I mean, he was taken away in Tag der Toten just because George Romero did pass away, unfortunately. Yeah, George doesn't really take away from it. He is annoying sometimes, but if you just keep him at bay, and if you're playing solo, you can definitely get him down. But I'd have to say Ascension's better just because it plays better. And Call of the Dead feels a little tight packed. So we have Shangri-La, Black Ops 1. So we have Moon, Black Ops 1. Moon's okay. You can, you know, pack a punch almost right at the beginning if you stay there for long enough. Use your grenades and pistol, right? Then you could buy Jug. So there's that. You know, you don't have to reset. Moon's only bad factor is the RNG if you're doing the Easter egg. And I personally, I know, I gotta say it. I personally do not like Moon. I don't. I know. Let's get all the hate out of the way. I don't like Moon a lot. In the Black Ops 3 version, I'm probably not going to like as much either. Moon's only redeeming factor for me personally is that it's on the moon. And that, you know, that's not enough for me. But it does have an Easter egg in it. It does have something to do. But it's just, for me, it's not that good. And I'm going to have to put it on the higher end of B tier. Because it's not A tier. It's not, well, it is on the fucking moon. Maybe it's lower A tier, you know, right before B tier. And it's better than 5 because, well, you know, I think everyone right here could agree that these are better than 5 Rucked and Knocked. But some people are like a challenge. Some people are masochists, you know. They want to feel pain when they play zombies. I don't. I'm what you would call a casual player. Nocturne Toten, Black Ops 1, you know, like I said, it's going to be... The only bad thing about Nocturne Toten is the zombies in World at War. And they took that away and they added Mule Kick. But is it that much better? You know, I don't think so. I think it's above Nocturne Toten. And I think the same thing for, you know what? I think all the Black Ops 1 versions of the World at War maps are above the other ones. Just because of the zombies, really. And that does go for Shinonuma and Doris. And that is the order, you know. Black Ops 1 Shinonuma is maybe better than Moon. Well, I think Moon might be better than them, because, again, it is the fucking Moon. And that is straight just Shinonuma. Alright, now we are on to Black Ops 2. So starting off, we have Transit, and I think it's gonna fall a little flat because of the fog. I said in Call of the Dead, I like to see my maps. But Transit, look, I'm going to come out and say it right now. I like Transit. Alright? I like Transit because it had an entire moving vehicle. It was the biggest map at the time. You know, modern maps are, I think, bigger than Transit right now. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm dead wrong. Transit is a massive map. And I think if it came out for Black Ops 3, I think everyone would like it. I genuinely think everyone would like Transit. And this is a big but. It didn't. It came out on Black Ops 2 with hardware limitations. So I think I'm going to have to put Transit, I think, lower A tier. People probably think I should put it next to Shangri-La, or maybe even in a C tier. But I think Transit is honestly a good map. But I don't fully love it. There are better maps, obviously. I think I'd play Transit, though, over Shinonuma. At least, you know, you got the bus, you got Ted, you got a bunch of different locations, you got a bunch of smaller maps like here, right in the map. They broke it down for easier content, and I get that. But I think if the fog was gone and the denizens were gone, I honestly think it would be one of the best maps of all time, especially for a release. But it isn't. It came out on Black Ops 2 with hardware limitations. And next up we have Farm, Town, and Bus Depot. Now, I like Farm. Farm's pretty solid. Farm's a solid map, but I don't play it often. And people are like, oh, you like to see your maps. It's like, yeah, but Farm's like the fucking a little bit bigger than Noct. I think I'd rather play these maps first than Farm, you know. But for Town's a bit different because I have a lot of memories on Town. I like how Town plays. It's got a lot of good spots. I think I'd put that above 5. I think I'd put that above 5. Because Town, would I do that? Yeah, I think 5, no, 5 is still pretty good. I think I'd play Town before all of those. Because Town's good, I like Town. I think I would put that below Town. But above Verrugged. You know, nothing wrong with it. It's just, I don't know. They're challenges. I'm not too much of a guy who likes challenges. Sometimes I do, but I don't. But I'd rather play Town before any of those. And Nuketown Zombies. I think Nuketown Zombies is better than Shangri-La. Only purely because it's not Shangri-La. Nuketown Zombies is very unique, but it's not good. And I'm actually going to have to say the same with Die Rise. Die Rise is higher D tier, but not good. We're probably not gonna put anything in well, actually, you know what, I'll do that. Die Rise and Nuketown are in C tier. They're not terrible, but they're definitely not good. And I'm not saying they're good. I would never play them. I'd pick everything else above it first. I'd rather play 5 years of the World at War maps than Die Rise Die Rise and Nuketown. But Shangri-La is bottom of the barrel garbage. Mob of the Dead, I don't like Mob of the Dead at all. Tight spaces, it's literally a whole prison. So I'd say it's better than Nuketown. I would say it's better than Nuketown. I would say actually it is better than Die Rise, but it's definitely not in B tier. I'd rather play these maps first. Sorry, folks. I'd rather play these maps first than Mob of the Dead. Buried. Now, Buried's very unique. Is it? Not really compared to Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2 had a lot of wild shit going on. But I actually do like Buried, a lot, actually. But I don't think, I think it's gonna go right here. I don't know, actually. I think I'd put Buried above, Darice, Transit, and Shinonuma. Actually, I think Buried's pretty good. I don't really have anything negative to say about it because I don't grind it often, But I do think it is better than these maps here. And I do think it's better than them, but not better than Moon, Kino, Call of the Dead, or Ascension. Yeah, I like that choice. It's not bad. There's definitely better. I know. Dead Ops Arcade 1 taking the S tier. Origin. Okay. Well, Origins Black Ops 2. Origins is a mixed bag for me. I don't like Origins, but sometimes I do. But so it's not B tier. I'll say that right now. It's not B tier, but it's not B and below tier, I should say. But I think it's gonna be I don't know. I think I'll put Origins there. I'd rather play these maps first before Origins, but it's not bad, Origins definitely has its quirks. It's definitely made for if you want a challenge, and But it's not these. It's definitely better than these maps here. But I think Ascension is better than Origins. Is what I'm saying. And now we're on to Black Ops 3, starting it off with Shadows of Evil. I think Shadows of Evil is a very interesting map. It's not my favorite, but I would have to say Shadows of Evil is probably A tier. Not S tier. It's not perfect. You know, has its down. Well, Shadows of Evil is pretty fun. It's just, it's the setup that gets me, right? It's the setup that gets me. I think I'm gonna have to say, yeah, Shadows of Evil. Ascension's better than Shadows of Evil, but Shadows of Evil is better than the rest of these maps. Just because it's a beautiful map. The theming is cool. It's a city in like the 30s, I think, or maybe the 20s. I think it's the 30s. And it had Gobblegums. You know, that was the first time we saw Gobblegums with Shadows of Evil in the trailer. And all that stuff. So I do think it is better than the maps are below it. But I think Ascension's better than that. Personally, I think it's better. And now we have the Giant, which is very interesting. You know what? I can't really think of any downsides to it. It's beautiful. The Wonderwaff returned. Gobblegums on the Giant. Derice, you know, has a mini Easter egg to unlock either, what is it, Deadshot or Stamina Up, I believe. There's no real downsides. It could get boring. It does get boring pretty quick. I think I'm going to do it, chat. I think I'm going to put Giant as low S tier. Like, I'd rather play the Giant before Ascension, you know? It catapulted the storyline. It made the Primus and Ultimus story, Invictus storyline, the Aether story, it made it prevail. It was such a strong swing. And I think that's why the Giant goes in S tier. Dead Ops Arcade 2, I'm going to say it's better than... I'm going to actually put Dead Ops Arcade 2 in B tier. Because I don't like Dead Ops Arcade 2. I like how classic... I love how stupidly simple, sometimes, Dead Ops Arcade 1 is. Dead Ops Arcade 2 provides a pretty solid challenge. I mean, they both do. I don't play it that much. If I want to play a Dead Ops, I'll probably boot up Dead Ops 1. Dreisendrach. I think Dreisendrach is very low A tier. I'd put it... Yeah, I'd put it there. I think Buried in Moon and Kino, Call of the Dead, Shadows, and Ascension are better than Dreisendrach by a landslide. But it's not bad. It's not bad at all. The bows are cool, the dragons, the snowy aesthetic. Going to Eagle's Nest, you know, blowing up the moon, getting Dempsey's soul. Very intriguing stuff. But it's very tight. Except for, like, the courtyard. Zetsubo, I do not think is a good map. But I think it's better than Shangri-La. I'd say Zetsubo is better. I'd say I'd rather play Mob of the Dead than Zetsubo. Zetsubo for me is just not fun. I don't like it. If you have to do like a setup to turn on power, immediate L. If you have to build Pack-a-Punch, immediate L. I know Transit has that, but Transit gets a bit, like I said, Transit was kind of revolutionary. Zetsubo is just, they learned their lesson and they repeated it. Grad Krovi, fun map. You know, I'd honestly say, I know Mr.Wafake does not like Grad Krovi, but I do like Grad Krovi. The aesthetic's cool. It's Stalingrad in an alternate universe. We're almost at the end of our story for our Primus counterparts. So I'd have to say that Grad Krovi, A tier. It's not perfect. Or is it perfect? No, it's a little small at times. Did give us the Raygun Mark 3s though. And we did see Gersh again. I think I'm going to put it top of A tier. I think I will put it at the top of A tier. Because I do like Grad Krovi. And I would rather play it than everything listed below it. Like, I'll boot that up first. You know, if I'm feeling... I love the aesthetic of it. I love Stalingrad. I love alternate places. And that is so cool with the dragons. But it's not perfect because it has tight areas. So if it was open, if it had more open areas, I think I'd put it S tier. I do. I like the lockdown sequence for Pack-a-Punch. That's fun. But yeah, that's my justification for Grad Krovi. Revelations, it's a map, alright. But I don't like Revelations. Well, no, it's pretty fun, actually. I don't think it's B tier. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think Shinonuma World at War is better than Revelations. But I do think Revelations... I'd say Revelations is better than Shadows. Just because it hits that nostalgia nail right on the head. It's got a ton of side Easter eggs. It's, you know, it concluded the Ether story, kind of. And we were all blown away by that. And we got to see some of our favorite maps smashed all into one. You know, it brought back a lot of wonder weapons. You could get Takio's katana, which was crazy. So I think Revelations is a pretty solid map. But it's not S tier, of course. I don't like Revelations. But it's not worse than Shinonuma World at War. Or, you know, it's not worse than Kino. You know, but I think Grodkrovian Ascension beat Revelations by a landslide. So then we have all the remakes for Black Ops 3. Nocturne Tote in Black Ops 3 is really, 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 really fun. It's got all this stuff on it now, and it just makes the point of Nocturne Tote taken away, if you think about it. You know, I think Nocturne Tote in Black Ops 3 Edition, I think it's above Origins, but I don't think it's above these maps here. It's good. It's solid. Same thing with Rux and Shinonuma, actually. I think they can go there, too. I think they're pretty solid, but they're not solid enough, you know? I think they're above these maps right here and right here, of course. But I think these maps drastically outdo them. Kino Black Ops 3, honestly, kind of the same thing, but I think I'd rather boot that up over these ones here. Well... Actually, I think I'd put that over the original. Yeah, I see myself booting this up more than these here, you know. But there's nothing really added to it besides Gobblegums and the Wonder Fizz. But that's kind of about it, you know. Ascension in Black Ops 3, I think is actually better than the original. It still has monkeys, but you get Gobblegums. Movement's better and all that fun stuff. So I'd boot that up more than Kino. I do think that is almost S tier. I'd say Ascension Black Ops 3 is actually S tier. I think Ascension Black Ops 3 might be my favorite map of all time, now that I'm thinking about it. It took what Ascension did great and only made it better. Gobblegums, Wonder Fizz, took out PhD Slider, Flopper, fuck. But it's definitely better than Dead Ops Arcade 1 and The Giant. But it's not, it doesn't belong in A tier because I play it more than the maps listed below it. You know, I played a shitload, as a matter of fact. And I think Ascension's actually a really well made map for Black Ops 3. Shangri-La Black Ops 3 is better than the original, but there. Moon Black Ops 3. I'd say it's better than the original, but not. I'd say it's above Kino Black Ops 1. Just because Gobblegums, Wonder Fizz, movement's better, weapons are better, all that shit. Zombies aren't jank, but it's Moon, you know. I don't like Moon, but it's definitely cooler. It looks better, you know. Kind of same thing with Origins Black Ops 3, but I'd rather boot up Origins Black Ops 3 than the maps here. Yeah, there we go. That feels right to me. I'd rather boot up Origins Black Ops 3 than anything below it, even the original. But I think Call of the Dead is, the original Call of the Dead is more fun, in my opinion. Alright, now we got Black Ops 4, starting off with 9. 9's actually a really good map. I like 9. It's actually... The only flaws with it is the tight areas, but you only really go out though in those if like mid-round. You're not going to be doing it when those fucking axe throwers are doing shit. You know, the Pack-a-Punch room's pretty solid for training. I'm going to have to put it low tier S. I think it beats these maps here. And 9 is overall, I think it might be second S tier actually, because it definitely beats Dead Ops, Dead Ops 1 and The Giant, but it doesn't beat Ascension Black Ops 3, because I like how simple Ascension is. 9 has a lot of shit to it, but it is very fun, and I like it. Okay, Voyage at the... I'd say I'd rather boot up Voyage than Mob of the Dead. But I think everything else after it is more fun. Voyage is... They shouldn't have fucking did a Titanic. Just make your own boat, for Christ's sakes. Or something, the SS Zombie Killer. Something. Not the Titanic. They, like, almost got it, like, 1-to-1, but not really. It's about as bad as Mob of the Dead, but not really, because it's the fucking Titanic. Blood of the Dead, yep. I think Blood of the Dead is genuinely one of the worst maps I've ever fucking played in my life. Yeah, it's Primus. Yeah, it's Alcatraz, but I already don't like Mob of the Dead, so I'd say Blood of the Dead's worse than fucking Shangri-La. I think that's probably one of the worst maps to ever release. Classified. See, Classified actually is fun and beats 5 by a mile, but would I say it's A tier? Would I say it's A tier? Yeah, I'd say Classified is, better than everything below it. I think I find myself booting up Classified than these maps here. I hardly play Black Ops 2, World at War, Black Ops 1, but I've been playing a lot of Black Ops 4, so I do like Classified a lot actually, but it's not perfect. It's definitely not perfect. It is a bit easier though than 5, but it has some flaws. Because it's 5. It's literally still the map of 5 with some added rooms. You do go to Groom Lake, though, for Pack-a-Punch, and that's fun. Dead of the Night. I actually like Dead of the Night. The only problem, I'm going to hit Black Ops 4 with this problem again. Dead of the Night is a very tight map. Tight map, lots of windows, and I don't like that. So I'm going to have to put it at, I think, top of B tier. But I've played it a lot. I've played it more than Buried. Oh, God, everything's going in A tier. But these maps aren't, like, bad, you know? B tier don't really... Yeah, I'd say Dead of the Night's better than Original Origins and the Black Ops 3 and Horizon and Buried. But it's not better than these maps here. Dead of the Night's fun. I've got the Wonder Weapon on it, and I do like the characters a lot. But it's not too good compared to these. Actually, I'd say it's better than Black Ops 1 Kino. Ancient Evil, I actually don't like at all. I know a lot of people do. So I'd probably put that high B tier. I boot up these maps first before Ancient Evil. I like the aesthetics, but once again, kind of a tight map with a ton of spawns. Not really my cup of tea. Alpha Omega. Yeah, kind of the same situation, but I find I'd say high B tier. I would say high B tier. Only because Alpha Omega was kind of fucking crazy with Primus and Ultimus in one map. But it's Nuketown, and that's not fun. And it's also small with a million windows, so don't really like it. The only thing going for it is the Elemental Ray Gun Mark IIs. I never thought I'd fucking say that. And Ultimus and Primus's dialogue is pretty fucking funny, but that's about it. That's about it. I'd say it's better than everything below it, but it's not better than everything above it, you know? TOG is cool. TOG is fun. But is it better than everything above, like, there? If I put it there... yeah. Yeah, I'd say TOG der Toten is... Yeah, I haven't given it its full spin, but I can tell I'm going to like it, just because it's Call of the Dead 2. No George Romero, unfortunately, but it'd be kind of disrespectful if they did have him in it. But I do like TOG, and I do think it's better than everything below it, of course, down here. Yeah, so that concludes it for Black Ops 4. And now we're on to Cold War. So, D-Machine. That's an interesting one. D-Machine. I do play Cold War a lot. I love Cold War. I don't understand the hate behind it. I think it's just because the YouTubers were meat riding Black Ops 3 forever, and they still are. But I think D-Machine is genuinely good. I think it's a genuinely good map. There's no flaws with it to me. I think D-Machine is actually a really solid map. I can't think of anything wrong with it. You can come in with your own fucking loadout. That's fucking awesome. I'm gonna do it. I think D Machine is one of the best maps we've had. Now thinking about it, I can't think of any cons. You spawn in with your own loadout, with all your, you can upgrade your perks, you get loot, there's kill streaks for the first time, all this amazing shit, right? For the launch map for zombies. Now, Dead Ops Arcade 3, I think, is worse than Mob of the Dead, but better than Zetsubo. I played it twice, fucking hated it. I like seeing other people play it, but it's not. I think it's better than Shangri-La and Blood, but I don't think it's worse. I don't think it's better than Mob of the Dead and Voyage, honestly. Firebase Z, really fun map for me, honestly. I love the Vietnam aesthetic. I love the mimics. The Manglers returned. We got the Ray K, another version of the ray gun, kind of. But I think it's gonna go mid A tier. Yeah, I'd put it above Dead of the Night, but it's definitely high A tier, honestly. I love, like I said, you spawn in with your loadout, what you want. It's not hard. The Easter egg's not hard, except for the one part that does glitch out, but I've never had that happen to me. Sorry, Mr.Wafake. But I do think it's better than everything below it, and that does include Origins Black Ops 2. Mauer, Mauer's indifferent with me. It is tight areas. Mauer Return is a city setting, which I love. The Panzer, unfortunately, is in this map, but of course it's in fucking Der Eisendrache, and that sucks. But I think Revelation or Mauer is better than. I think it's second A tier. Yeah. I'd say it's second at A tier. I really don't think it's better than Grad Krovi, but it's not worse than everything listed before. You know, I don't think it's worse than Alpha. I don't think it's worse than Mob of the Dead. I think it's pretty solid, and I think it gets shit on a lot for. Well, I think everybody actually likes Mauer der Toten. They don't say it out loud because you'll get shit on. Forsaken, I don't like Forsaken. I think it's very fucking weird. I think it was kind of a lackluster ending to Cold War. I think if Mauer der Toten was the ending to Cold War, I think people would like it a lot more. I think if they switched premises, I think that'd be fucking pretty solid. But I'd have to say Forsaken's actually below these Shinonuma World at War. I just don't like it. I don't like the Abomination. I don't like anything about it, really. Very forgettable. Most people forget Forsaken every fucking time. And it was a really fucked up way to end Cold War. I think Mauer and Forsaken should have switched. We also got Outbreak, but that's not here for some reason. I would put Outbreak as between Grad and Mauer because I love Outbreak. I love open world zombies. That's so fucking cool. So all we have left is Vanguard, which at the time of making this tier list for them, apparently it wasn't complete. So people hate Vanguard. It is one of the worst zombies release ever. I do stand with that. It is one of the worst releases for zombies, I think, probably in the entire history. I don't think Duran Fung is bad. It's just boring. It's very boring. I don't think there was an Easter egg. I've never heard anything about an Easter egg. I think Duran Fung, you know, I think it's A tier. I'd say Duran Fung is low A tier, but above Origins. Not by much, though. Black Ops 2 Origins, that is. Black Ops 3 Origins is different. Duran Fung would never see this top row. But I do think it's better than everything below it. Yeah, I'm saying Duran Fung is better than Mob and Blood. Yeah, you're fucking reading that right. I'd rather play Duran Fung than Mob of the Dead and Blood of the Dead. I will say that. Now, Terra Maledicta is genuinely a fucking terrible map. And I think that is worse than every zombies map we've ever had before in our entire lives. Treyarch-wise. Terra Maledicta is fucking. It's so unforgettable. It's so fucking. Like, the first time I played it, I lagged so hard I couldn't even play the game. So I fucking was like, not playing it. And then we got Shinonuma Reborn. I'd put Shinonuma Reborn. I'd probably put it between Revelations and Shadows. I genuinely do like Shino Numa Reborn. Again, reused assets. Everyone fucking talks about that. I don't give a fuck about reused assets. I like the Wonder Waff. Using the Wonder Waff on Shino Numa Reborn is fucking fun as hell. The quest isn't hard. The Easter egg's nothing crazy. I've never done it. I've tried. It's alright. The only redeeming factor is the Wonder Waff. So, yeah. Judge me all you want. This is how I feel. This is my dead honest opinion. D Machine is the best map we've ever gotten. And Terra Maledicta is the worst map we've ever gotten. And you're probably sitting here fuming, typing in the comments, oh, Penny Saver, how could you put Alpha Omega and Dead Ops Arcade 2 above Mob of the Dead? It's like, well, because I don't like Mob of the Dead. It's that simple. It's that simple. I do not like Mob of the Dead. Do I hate it? No. I'll play it if it's my only option, but I'm not going to enjoy it. But in the end, and this is very important, in the end, Zombies is a subjective game mode, everyone. Zombies is a subjective game mode. People like Mr. Raffle Waffles, Milo, Mr. T-Lexify, Lex, Noah J, they would disagree with this. They would probably put most of the Black Ops 3 maps in S and A tier. If not all of them. Maybe 9's up in there. Maybe Mauer's up in there. But that's because that's what they like. That is what they enjoy. And that's how Zombies is subjective. Some motherfucker out there probably thinks Town is the best map to ever release. Not even Transit. Town. The side map. You know, some motherfucker out there might think Shangri-La is the best map we will ever get in Zombies history. It's subjective. And I think we all need to understand that as long as we're playing Zombies, and can share our stories, I think that's all that matters. You know? If I can talk to someone and be like, hey, I had so much fun on D Machine last night. I got to round 90. And they're like, that's so cool. I got to round 90 on Blood of the Dead. It's like, that's amazing. How'd you do it? And you just have a conversation. Zombies is subjective. And we shouldn't be ripping ourselves apart to defend our best map. I think we need to come together as a community and tell Activision, stop fucking up our game mode. Because it's all we got left. And it's all they got left. They are one fuck up away from losing the entire community. And I think we're almost there. So, on that note, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked a video like this, make sure to like it. Make sure to comment. And make sure, importantly, to subscribe for more Zombies content. Thank you all. And have a wonderful day or night.